I'd been dating Liam for 5 years when I discovered his unchanging WeChat profile picture was of his son, a Samoyed he'd co-parented with his first love, Summer, for 8 years. I felt surprisingly calm, almost amused. The realization that I no longer loved Liam coincided with the 10th anniversary of my transmigration into this novel. It was New Year's Eve. Alone, I huddled over a simmering pot of spicy hot pot. The fragrant steam a temporary comfort. A bowl of cold, greasy wontons sat untouched, the sight of them turning my stomach. I shuffled across the room, flicking on all the lights, and reached for my phone. Liam's last message, a week old, declared he wouldn't be home this month. I stared at it, typing and deleting a message about the hot pot I'd made his supposed favorite. I scrolled through his WeChat moments, a curated collection of his perfect life with Summer, smiling photos, family gatherings. A life I no longer belonged to. I zoomed in on a photo of them, searching for clues for proof. The bed was impeccably made, the floor spotless. I walked into the bedroom, a restless spirit, mechanically folding Liam's shirts, a familiar, meaningless ritual. Fold, unfold, repeat. The acrid smell of burning food snapped me out of my trance. Stumbling out of the bedroom, I tripped over a potted pot hose, landing hard on the floor. The only sound was the sizzling hot pot. The indicator light blinked twice, then died. I rubbed my ankle, a sudden wave of apathy washing over me. This was pointless. While packing, I sent Liam a curt message. "We're breaking up." I hesitated, tempted to elaborate, but the words wouldn't come. I no longer had the energy for long, carefully crafted messages. The easy flow of conversation, the spontaneous bursts of affection, felt like distant memories. My hand paused on a faded floral dress, stained and out of style. I folded it meticulously, smoothing every crease, placing it in a black garbage bag destined for the trash. A year with Liam, and my belongings barely filled a small suitcase. The bulkiest item was my university design portfolio. The edges of the pages yellowed from years of being tucked away. Buried beneath it was a half-filled application for a study abroad program. The expectations section scribbled black with ink, the original words obscured. I packed everything away, grabbed my documents, and zipped up the suitcase. As I was leaving, my phone chimed. Liam's reply. ? Annoyance flared. I started typing a long, angry message, then deleted it, leaving a single concise reply. "I know Summer's back. I know how you feel. This is goodbye. I wish you happiness." I immediately regretted it. Just "I wish you happiness" would have sufficed. Now I looked desperate. He'd probably just respond with another question mark. I opened the door, pausing to glance at his profile picture. That Samoyed, so incongruous with Liam's personality, yet unchanged for 8 years. The electronic lock beeped. I closed the door, my finger hovering over the delete button. Deleting him was the simplest solution. I erased his WeChat contact and blocked his number. Dee reminds you to fasten your seatbelt. I plugged in my earphones, watching the city lights blur past. As a transmigrated soul into this novel, my existence was disappointingly mundane. No special powers. No dramatic backstory. Just a forgettable side character, destined for oblivion. Just like in my previous life, orphaned young, consumed by the daily grind of survival. I've been strangely excited to transmigrate into Summer's laughter, Liam's love. The novel had been my solace throughout high school, a beacon of hope in a bleak world. Meeting the characters was like meeting my idols. I never expected to become entangled in their lives. They were too brilliant, too perfect, meant to be admired from afar. But when Liam entered my life, rationality crumbled. The line between fiction and reality blurred, and I, the insignificant extra, was drawn to their light. "Please gather your belongings and be mindful of oncoming traffic." The driver's voice interrupted my reverie. He helped me with my suitcase. I thanked him and headed towards my new apartment. Exhausted, I showered and fell into a dreamless sleep. My phone buzzed with notifications the next morning. Mostly New Year's greetings. Except for the flurry of messages from Noah and Ivy. In our group chat, Noah had posted a screenshot of Liam's message, the unanswered question mark followed by a red exclamation point. He'd followed it with a series of shocked bunny emojis and a frantic back and forth with Ivy, concluding that Liam was playing some kind of cruel joke. I replied, "It's not a joke," then proceeded to systematically delete every trace of Liam from my online presence. My Weibo account was a public testament to my infatuation. learning to cook his favorite dishes, buying him clothes, mimicking Summer's hairstyles, even pursuing a career he deemed suitable. I'd been a willing participant in my own erasure, thrilled by his fleeting smiles, validated by his infrequent praise. Love, I told myself. Now it just looked pathetic. Love wasn't supposed to be cold, a one-sided performance, a desperate attempt to maintain a crumbling facade. I scrolled to my first post, dated January 1st, 2015. Starry-eyed dreamer. Picture Happy New Year. Finally finished the first draft. Hoping to gift this to him as his girlfriend when it's finished. Delete. Yes. I stared at my empty feed. A picture of the little prince staring back from an ad. She is no ordinary rose. She is your rose. You have tamed her, and that makes her unique. Liam and a rose. No comparison. Ivy burst in with groceries while I was cooking. We stared at each other for a moment. Then she dumped the bags on the floor, collapsing onto the beanbag chair. Wow, someone's in a good mood. You ghost us while we're worried sick, thinking you're going to do something drastic, and you're calmly making dinner. I chuckled dryly. Don't exaggerate. She pouted, then retrieved 2 beers, settling down on the floor. Come on, let's drink. I turned off the stove, grabbed a cushion for her, and joined her. Ivy took a long swig, sighing. I never thought you'd be the one to dump him. I clinked my bottle against hers, finishing it in silence. I just realized. I'm tired of this one-sided relationship. Doesn't matter who ended it. I crushed the can in my hand. Ivy's face flushed quickly. She grabbed my hand, raising her beer. Astrid, don't be like this. I wish you'd just cry. We could go to Flamenco Beach, scream at the ocean, get it all out. I managed a weak smile. Sure. Ivy continued to mumble, her words slightly slurred. We're young. There are plenty of other guys out there. Don't be like this. Astrid. I'm scared. Her voice cracked. The beer can rolled across the floor empty. She pulled me into a hug, burying her face in my shoulder. She was trembling. Please just be okay. Don't do anything stupid, okay? I hugged her back, my sleeve falling back to reveal a faint scar on my wrist. Because of Liam. And not because of Liam. It wasn't his fault. I won't. Not again. Once was enough. I reassured her. Want some sweet corn and stuffed mushrooms? She sniffled and nodded. Ivy's mood lifted quickly. Later, she video called Noah, showing off the remnants of our dinner. Jealous much? You're stuck in the boonies, while Astrid's cooking up a storm. I smiled, waving at Noah on the screen. He grinned back, his canines flashing. The camera flipped back to him, and he made faces at Ivy while she teased him mercilessly. It was comforting. A welcome change from the cold silence of Liam's apartment. I looked out at the city lights, a lightness in my chest. Noah was bored, stuck in whiling for his design project. Ivy, slightly tipsy, suggested, let's play a game. It's been ages. Noah scoffed, telling her she was too drunk to play. But he agreed, calling it a nostalgia trip. The call ended with Ivy's drunken proclamation. I'm eternally 18. She slung an arm around my neck, giggling. Astrid, we're eternally 18. We've got our whole lives ahead of us. Downloading Honor of Kings. I watched the progress bar, memories surfacing. Noah with his bright blue hair would boast, follow me noobs. You'll win just by walking. Ivy and I would huddle on our dorm room beds, bombarding him with questions. Outside, birds chirped in the afternoon sun, casting dappled shadows on the floor. The randomly selected hero, a woman with an eye patch, raised her staff elegantly, whispering ancient incantations. I'd been captivated, a strange warmth blooming in my chest. Passion, dreams, hope. Noah's voice, urging me to confirm my choice, echoed in my memory. The hero selection screen, a strange twist of fate, landed on Milady again. As I clicked confirm, the warmth in my chest transformed into scalding tears. Ivy dropped her phone, wiping my tears. I tried to speak, but my voice was choked with sobs. I didn't know why I was crying. For the dreams I'd abandoned? For the steadfast loyalty of my friends, while I drifted away, lost in my Liam-centric world? Ivy hugged me, crying with me, berating Noah for his insensitivity. Noah stammered apologies, his ears probably burning. I cried until the game started, our teammates spamming our icons for being AFK. I picked up my phone, apologizing. The apology wasn't for the game. It was for Ivy and Noah. I finished the game in a blur of tears, feeling as if years of suppressed emotions were finally pouring out. "I'm sorry," I choked out, shaking my head. "I'm so sorry." Ivy comforted me, rubbing my back, telling me it was okay. "I'm sorry I disappointed you," I sobbed. "I'm sorry I worried you." It had been years since I'd cried like this. I always thought it took a catastrophic event to trigger such a breakdown. But here I was on a perfectly ordinary afternoon, crumbling like a child denied a toy. What had I lost chasing after Liam? Passion, dreams, hope, friendships, even my dignity. The afternoon sun streamed through the window. Like waking from a dream, I finally understood. The world didn't revolve around the main characters. Even a side character, a lovesick fool, had friends, dreams, a heart that still beat with a fierce, unwavering pulse. The crying jag helped. I admitted to myself I'd been pretending, putting on a brave face, feigning indifference to salvage my pride. Now, I found myself researching Puerto Rico, excitedly planning a trip. Ivy was ecstatic, but our time was limited. She was returning to England soon. "Astrid," she asked tentatively, "what are you going to do after this?" I paused, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. "I haven't decided yet." Ivy hesitated, then slapped her forehead. I knew what she wanted to ask. At midnight, with Ivy asleep, I opened my laptop. I took a deep breath, my fingers trembling. The scar on my wrist throbbed, a phantom pain. I stared at the draft email to Professor Zhou, the send button taunting me. I couldn't bring myself to click it, minimizing the window and mindlessly scrolling through news articles. My shadow stretched across the wall, grotesque and distorted. Ivy woke with a gasp, her slipper flying across the room. She patted over, her eyes still blurry with sleep. "I woke up and you were gone. Astrid, you scared me." She stopped, noticing the laptop screen. "Professor Zhou? A BCU application." I mumbled. "I want to try again." Ivy grabbed the mouse, scrolling through the application, disbelief etched on her face. "Am I dreaming? This is actually happening." She pinched herself, then turned to me, her eyes shining. "Send it. What are you waiting for? Professor Zhou will be thrilled." I looked down, silent. She shook me gently. "Astrid, you know I always dreamed of studying abroad with you. I haven't dared to mention it. Don't be an idiot. Don't throw away your talent for someone else. You've wasted enough time on Liam. Are you going to keep wasting your life? You're better than this. Better than Summer Shang." I had believed that once. But after breaking up with Liam, after erasing him from my life, I realized what I truly felt was regret, and a fierce determination to reclaim my lost years. I finally sent the email, then avoided my inbox for days, dreading the reply, or the lack of one. I couldn't imagine Professor Zhou's disappointment in her prodigal student. Instead of an email, I received a call from Liam. Noah's voice crackled through the speaker. "So, Mr. High and Mighty decided to grace me with his presence at the airport. Turns out he's feeling a little lost now that his little pet's run away." Liam's breathing was ragged, annoyed by Noah's taunts, or perhaps just uncomfortable initiating contact. I was about to hang up when he spoke, his voice low and strained. "Why did you move?" I glanced at the calendar. Over a week since I'd left. That's how long it took him to notice. My heart pounded. "We broke up," I said simply. I didn't agree to that. I could picture him frowning, looking down his nose at me, as if I were playing games, seeking his attention. We weren't married. We don't need each other's consent. A long silence, so long I thought he'd given the phone back to Noah. Then his voice, almost a whisper. "Why did you throw away that dress?" I wasn't sure which one he meant. He'd showered me with clothes, favoring floral prints like Summer's. Designer labels delivered within days of their release. Just some old clothes. Didn't the cleaning lady get rid of them? I said coolly. "Sorry for leaving a mess. Please discard everything." "Astrid," his voice hardened. "I'm asking about the floral dress. The one from 8 years ago." "Why that dress?" "A random thing I'd grabbed from my high school graduation party. Worn once, then discarded because it got stained." Frustration bubbled up. "Because I prefer brighter colors," I said, hanging up. I knew. Summer loved floral prints. The image of her, radiant in a floral dress, holding her design portfolio, was seared into Liam's memory. I was an imitation, a convenient stand-in, willingly conforming to his preferences. Liam didn't call again. He rarely called even when we were together. I was too busy preparing for my studies to think about him. The constant delivery notifications. from the brands he frequented were more annoying. I blocked them one by one. Finally, peace. Ivy and I packed light, excited for our trip to Puerto Rico. Perhaps it was the new year, but my luck was changing. The fresh air and vibrant landscapes of Puerto Rico were a balm to my soul. First came Professor Zhou's email, then the official acceptance letter. From BCU. Overwhelmed with joy, I screamed into the vast expanse of the Caribbean Sea. Ivy hugged me and we lay on the beach stargazing the cool night air, a welcome contrast to the tropical heat. "See those stars?" she whispered, pointing. "One day you'll shine just as brightly." Our trip was brief. Ivy flew back to England, while I returned to China to finalize my arrangements. Ivy secretly gave Noah my flight details. She didn't want me to arrive alone. I scanned the arrival hall for Noah's distinctive blue hair, but my gaze was drawn to Liam instead. He looked younger, dressed casually, his hands in his pockets. For a fleeting moment I thought he was there for me. Then a figure in a floral dress appeared. "Summer." She took his arm, her voice bright. "I just checked. Snowball's flight is landing soon." Why was she here? My stomach clenched. I remembered a magazine interview with Summer. "Miss Shang, you and your summer collection are as unforgettable as each other." "I'll take that as a compliment," she'd replied. Poised and confident. Talented, graceful, self-assured. A sweet face with a core of steel. The perfect heroine. No wonder Liam was captivated. He turned to her, his eyes softening, murmuring something I couldn't hear. The flight announcement echoed through the terminal. I watched as Summer greeted a large white Samoyed, Liam's son, the dog from his profile picture. I remembered when Liam and I had first moved in together. I'd been so happy, so naive. I told him I wanted a cat, a small scruffy ginger kitten, mewing pathetically in a pet shop window. I'd stood there for ages, mesmerized. The owner said it was a stray, unwanted. They were giving it away. Liam, frowning, had simply said, "I don't like cats. Don't complicate things." The shop owner's awkward apologies faded into the background. The pet shop was gone now. I wondered about that kitten. Had it found a home? Or had it simply vanished, another victim of indifference? Noah's hand on my shoulder startled me. Traffic was insane. Glad I made it. Spacing out again. Just thinking about Liam's profile picture. "It's kinda cute." He gave me a strange look. "Don't tell me." I laughed. "Let's go." As we walked past Liam, he grabbed my wrist. "We need to talk." I told him to let go. His grip tightened. Noah's expression darkened. Then a chime. "Oops," Summer exclaimed, setting down the dog carrier and glancing at me with disdain. "Your mom wants us to bring Snowball over. She's wondering why you're not answering your calls." Liam's phone rang. I pulled my hand free, deliberately uncurling his fingers from my wrist, ignoring his surprised look. I didn't want to intrude. They were a family. Always had been. I walked away with Noah, not looking back. It took weeks to finalize my paperwork. Liam called while I was wrestling with my application for BCU. I stared at the unfamiliar number, unsure how to respond. "You're going abroad?" His voice was tight. "Yes." "Is that final?" "Yes." Silence. I thought he'd hang up. Then a thud, as if he'd punched something. "Astrid, are you serious? What do you think?" I was amused. This simple exchange, the roles reversed, me now the indifferent one. "Don't be ridiculous, Astrid. You know I hate it when you play games." His anger was palpable. Was I playing games? I wondered. To someone who doesn't care, every action is a manipulation. I'd spent 8 years trying to bridge the gap between us. From dating to cohabiting to this ending. We were separated by an unbridgeable chasm. "I figured that out 4 years ago," I said quietly. "Being dramatic gets me nowhere with you. You don't care. It only annoys you." So I stopped. His breathing hitched. "And you? Do you know what I hate?" "Liam," I said, enunciating each word clearly, no longer afraid of his disapproval. "I hate floral dresses. I hate long straight hair. I hate studying finance. I hate spicy hot pot. I'd force myself to eat a bowl of wontons and a few vegetables, pretending I liked it. Because it was you, Liam. I was willing to change. To accept anything. When you love someone, you abandon your preferences. You see them and your boundaries dissolve." I pushed my application aside, flexing my stiff fingers. "You know nothing about me," I whispered. Of course he didn't. He didn't know about growing up in an orphanage, about the struggles of a girl trying to survive, to pursue her passion for design, about the compromises, the sacrifices. I'd never given up. Even in a life of quiet desperation, I'd clung to my pride. How could I not resent being molded into someone else's ideal? I hated being a substitute. So Liam, this is it. It's over. I wish you happiness. I hung up, removing my watch, exhaling slowly. It was finally over. Only the scar on my wrist remained, a memento of my wasted years. That scar, a reminder of my despair, was also a tombstone for buried dreams. I got it a year after abandoning my chance to study abroad. Liam's ultimatum. Go abroad or we break up. He despised long distance relationships. I'd agonized, then surrendered, scribbling out my hopes on the application form, dutifully enrolling in a finance program. Financial modeling replaced design. But I'd stayed with Liam. On our first birthday together, I'd meticulously followed recipes, trying to please him, eagerly awaiting his return. I waited until dark, until midnight. Message. Busy tonight. Rain check. Then, a notification from Summer. A video of her debut exhibition. Liam stood beside her, a supportive presence. In the background, her friends teased. You invited him. You still care. Summer's voice bright and clear. Astrid, I'm so sorry, I just realized it's your birthday. Happy birthday. I wouldn't have told Liam if I'd known. He'll bring you a gift. Don't be mad. Oh, and Professor Lee wanted me to share the video with you and Ivy. Mad? It had been a year since I'd abandoned my dreams. Did she have any idea? I was drowning in a subject I loathed every sleepless night. A torment. I was ashamed to face my friends, my mentor. Depression was a constant companion. And there she was, radiant, my boyfriend by her side, her words condescending. The heroine mocking the insignificant extra. My boyfriend, who'd so easily dismissed my dreams, now championed his first love's ambitions. Ironically, Summer had broken up with him because she didn't want a relationship to hinder her career. That was the first year of my self-imposed exile. A year of shattered dreams and despair. I woke up in the hospital, finally understanding. Ivy and Noah, their eyes red-rimmed, called me an idiot. Was an idiot. But like the little prince in his rose, I was trapped. Love or obsession or the sunk cost fallacy. But now the passion extinguished, leaving Liam felt like freedom, not heartbreak. My application was complete, except for Professor Zhou's recommendation. I was nervous about meeting her. She wrote me a glowing letter. 2 pages long. The kind professor, her hair streaked with silver, smiled, then playfully swatted my arm. You're too thin. Eat more. Seeing her, I felt a lump in my throat. Ivy and I were her star students. What's so special about Professor Lee's student, Summer Shang? She'd always say, Ivy and Astrid are just as talented. She hadn't given up on me. Before I left for England, she insisted I stay with her, offering words of wisdom like a loving parent. You're only 27. You have so much life ahead of you. Don't give up. Her hand brushed my scarred wrist, a gentle reminder. The scent of osmanthus filled the air, transporting me back to university, a time when anything felt possible. Noah drove me to the airport, his blue hair as vibrant as ever, his sunglasses hiding his eyes like a celebrity in disguise. He bowed theatrically. Welcome back to the land of the living, milady. I laughed. Thank you, kind sir. You remember your manners now? He teased. As we pulled up to the departures area, Noah glanced at the rearview mirror, clicking his tongue. Want me to lose him? Liam's car was parked nearby. I shook my head. No. We haven't seen each other since the breakup. It'll look like I'm avoiding him. Tried to sound nonchalant. I chased after him for years and he didn't want me. Now he's chasing after me, and I'm supposed to run. Liam looked haggard when he got out of his car. He was hunched in a hoodie, his dark hair unkempt. His eyes, dark and intense, were his most striking feature. Astrid. Yes. I smoothed my skirt, my dark curls framing my face, a touch of bright lipstick. I felt a twinge of guilt towards Ivy. She'd spent hours on makeup tutorials in Puerto Rico. But this was my new beginning. I wanted to face it as my true self. Astrid. It's me. Surprise flickered in his eyes. He looked as if he had 1,000 things to say, yet nothing at all. Like someone chasing a rainbow, only to find the path washed away. He had no right to speak. As I walked past him with Noah, I paused, my voice low. Liam, after 8 years, do you even know me? He opened his mouth, then closed it, speechless. Your clean shirts are in the 3rd drawer, left side, in the master bedroom closet. I noticed the wrinkled collar peeking out from beneath. His hoodie. I'd always taken care of everything. A few months without me, and he was already unraveling. I sighed inwardly and walked away. Let the wind carry my message. Goodbye. The next 2 years in England were demanding. Years of neglect couldn't be easily remedied. I worked tirelessly, even Ivy telling me to ease up. But I loved it. It would have been perfect if Liam hadn't been obsessively monitoring my Twitter. He seemed determined to understand me now after 8 years, 5 years of dating, 6 months of separation. Noah complained constantly. Liam kept asking him, what does Astrid like? Too little, too late. Regret? Remorse? He's just pathetic, Noah scoffed. I agreed. Finally, exasperated, Noah told him, did you know Astrid was depressed? That she tried to kill herself. He recounted the story to me with a hint of malicious glee. Liam, he said, had been stunned into silence. The silence, however, didn't last. He resorted to drunkenly bombarding my Weibo with long, rambling messages. Astrid, I miss you. This house is so empty. Astrid, how did you cope? Why didn't you tell me? I was at the airport to meet you when you came back from Puerto Rico. Can I come see you? After 8 years, how could I not have feelings for you? I never replied. His belated regrets and pleas were irrelevant. Frankly, they were annoying. I felt nothing for him anymore, only a quiet sense of closure. My focus was on my studies, on reclaiming my dreams. He no longer factored into my future. By my 3rd year, Ivy and I had established a successful design studio. The invitation to a prestigious jewelry exhibition in China was a dream come true. It was a validation of our work, and my debut on the international stage. We returned to China without hesitation, ready to build our future there. On the plane, I browsed a design magazine, stopping at an interview with Summer. Her words, carefully crafted, still carried her distinctive voice. Ivy snatched the magazine, pointing. Look at this. This new collection is dedicated to someone special. Thank you for your unwavering support. But I'm planning to step back from my career, focus on family. Ivy rolled her eyes. She's basically announcing her engagement to Liam. I shrugged, indifferent. Isn't Noah taking us out for drinks when we land? Ivy's face lit up. He is. Time to take advantage of him. Then realization dawned. Wait, is he punishing me? Ivy's low alcohol tolerance meant our plans to exploit Noah's generosity were unlikely to materialize. We met at our usual haunt, a dimly lit bar with a trendy vibe. Noah hung up the phone, looking irritated. I can't pick them up. Just make sure he doesn't drink himself into a coma. Who? Ivy asked, sliding into a booth. Summer. Noah gestured for me to join them. Liam's drunk. Summer's trying to get him home, but she can't manage him alone. Ivy snorted. So, Mr. Perfect gets drunk even without Summer to console him? He does this every year. Gets sentimental on certain anniversaries. Sentimental? I thought Summer was putting her career on hold. Noah paused. Karma, I guess. So what about him and Summer? The white moonlights turned into plain rice. The mosquito bites become a permanent fixture. I was ordering drinks when their gazes converged on me. Astrid, Ivy said pointedly, don't even think about going back to him. The bar was bustling, a stark contrast to its quieter days. Struck me then. It was our high school graduation anniversary, the day I met Liam and Noah. I pushed my drink forward. I have no intention of revisiting the past. The exhibition was held in the rooftop garden of the city's most prestigious skyscraper. The city glittered below. I wobbled in my heels. Noah hugged me. You'll be amazing, Astrid. Ivy pushed him away. This dream catcher is your masterpiece. Own it. No one can outshine you. Her gaze swept across the room pointedly. Liam was there, the picture of corporate success. From a distance at least. His eyes were fixed on the dream catcher displayed prominently. When he looked at me, his eyes were bloodshot. Summer, impeccably dressed, gave strained smiles to the reporters. What do you think of this newcomer, a fellow alumna? She's talented, Summer replied stiffly. Ivy, holding champagne, strolled past. Oh, you poor thing. she murmured, placing her glass on a tray. Liam's over there. Enjoy the show, Miss Shang. I didn't notice Summer's reaction. The spotlight found me, illuminating the dream catcher. The host introduced me, asking about the inspiration behind the design. I stood on stage, the deep blue gemstones shimmering. This is the dream catcher, a refined version of my original design. Thank you to my friends for their unwavering support. I wouldn't be here without you. The inspiration. I took a deep breath, reading the inscription on the display. Only when the heart is cleansed can the light illuminate the original dream. Even when lost in the fog, the passions we pursue will eventually bloom. We are all ordinary people, seemingly distanced from the gifted. But even ordinary people have the right to dream. Not for anyone else but for ourselves. Years ago I was lost seeking validation from others. Then I realized I'm not a moth drawn to someone else's flame. I prefer the quiet solitude of creation. The hours spent hunched over my sketchbook. My inspiration wasn't someone else's success story. It was my own. It was the dream itself. A moment of silence, then thunderous applause. Ivy's eyes shimmered with tears. Noah, beaming, clapped the loudest. I bowed gracefully, retreating backstage, tears streaming down my face. I touched my cheeks, the tears a mixture of relief, joy, and the last vestiges of resentment. I remembered my anger towards Liam after the breakup. Anger because I still cared. As a side character fading into obscurity, I'd hoped for a grand gesture, a dramatic reconciliation, a chance to reclaim my dignity, a manufactured happy ending. But now I realized my self-respect wasn't something Liam could bestow. I'd earned it myself. This was my debut, my new beginning. After the exhibition, I walked towards Liam, handing him a pair of cufflinks I designed and crafted during my time abroad. The original design was from 2015, a sophomore project infused with youthful dreams and a secret crush. 8 years later it was finally realized, but the sentiment was long gone. Liam's face lit up as I approached. The confident CEO was suddenly flustered. He grabbed my hand, his eyes red-rimmed, his voice trembling. Astrid, let's stop this. I know I messed up. Let's start over. He mistook the cufflinks for an olive branch. I shook my head, gently pulling my hand away, watching the hope drain from his eyes. He looked unkempt. He'd always been meticulous about his appearance. Even his stubble was uneven. But it didn't matter anymore. I was no longer the one to replenish his razor blades, to choose his shaving cream, to meticulously fold his shirts. 2 years. He should be used to it by now. Just as I'd grown accustomed to sleepless nights, the cufflinks were a final gesture, a severance of our shared past. It was time to move on. My love for Liam, a small, insignificant chapter, was finally closed. I nodded politely and walked away, not looking back. The Beijing air was crisp and clear. The summer sun was bright and warm. A plump ginger cat, a stray I'd been feeding, stretched lazily in the shade, rubbing against my leg. My phone buzzed with notifications. My newly verified Weibo account was gaining followers, a reminder of my new life. I closed my eyes, breathing in the scent of freedom. That evening I posted a picture of the ginger cat, clean and fluffy, curled up in my lap, a half-eaten treat clutched in its paws. Starry-eyed Moralstory. Picture, welcome home, little one. Welcome to my new life. Liam's increasingly frantic messages went unanswered. His phone screen, still faintly glowing, displayed my Weibo post.